Good morning, everyone, and welcome. For the last time, you are at day 10 of SICSS-Howard Mathematica, the only SICSS at a historically Black university. And I am excited to be with you on this last day, this culmination day. Technically day 12, when you add in praxis to power. You had 7 days straight, got to sleep maybe for a couple of days in between. And this is the end of our final 5, the second week. And this is my favorite day every year. Now, this is the 3rd year I'm doing this, my favorite day every year, because we get to see, and you get to see how you all have evolved during this time. And we get to see your project ideas, and so do our sponsors. And yeah, it's just a great day. So we're going to jump in, as we always do, to our mantra, our final mantra. Some folks from previous years have told me that they've recorded this and keep it on their phone. I'm here for that. Like, if you need to call me, I'll read it to you out loud. All right. Be who you are, and as you are enough. What you have to give and the questions you bring to the table are enough. Take care of your biological and technological needs as they come up. You should eat whenever you need to on camera, even turn your camera off if needed. You all know this. I love seeing people chew on camera. Everyone is a student here, no matter what your title. That's especially for our faculty. We're taking that learning posture, and especially learning from students or feeling like you don't know can be particularly hard. I think it's hard for all of us, but I hope our faculty have enjoyed that. Set your personal intention for today. Start thinking about what your personal intention is for this institute. It's not too late. It's the final day, but it's not too late to set your intention. Is there something specific you want to learn, a skill you want to begin to master? Do you want to drink all this in from the fire hose from which is delivered and revisit it again after the institute? That was my preference. That's what I did. I love big picture first. Is it collaboration on a project? Is it asking questions confidently? Is it practicing R? Set your intention for today. It can change tomorrow. It can change midday. It is yours and yours alone. Run your own race. And as was the request from the first day, breathe. And whoever recommended that, just know that will become a permanent part of our mantra going forward. So please breathe. We're going to try and squeeze in a group photo today when we got everybody together. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully right before presentations, we'll have critical mass and everyone will be here, and we'll try to get everyone a picture. We have a pretty great editor, so if we need to, we can pull somebody from another picture and slap them in there, but I'd love to have everybody in one picture if possible. All right, we're going to drop our question of the day into the chat box. Thank you, Edith. What's your favorite memory from SICSS-Howard Mathematica? And also humble brag. So want to hear what's great in your life. I know we had a little baby with a birthday yesterday. So I want to hear how folks are doing. Humble brags don't have to be professional. Just what are you proud of? You know, finding a space to share pride. I feel like sometimes we keep those things to ourselves, especially when we feel like it might make others feel smaller. I want to encourage you to hold space and give yourself the chance to feel bigger. So please, humble brags, favorite SICSS memory, drop in the chat box. A few announcements, and I mentioned this last night to folks who hung around after LaTanya Sweeney, after we all stopped crying. I mentioned a few things. Woo, that was fire. That was so fire. If you missed it, ask a friend and watch the video. Well, watch the video. You don't get the after hour stuff because we turn off the camera, but ask a friend. It was both cool and fire at the same time. I don't know how that happens, but it was amazing. It's a thing of beauty. So I want to just ease all of your worries about the presentations today. Number one, reminder, this will not be recorded, okay? All this research is in process. We don't want nobody stealing all these beautiful people of color's ideas, or you feeling nervous. We want you to be able to say whatever you want to say. Nobody is recording any of that. So when we start our presentations, cameras will go off. And I'm going to go over a process for that. But for us, success for that looks like you talking about how it went, right? Like nobody is giving you tenure or deciding if you're a good scholar based on what you say. You could be like, we set out to do this, realized it was not a good idea, and changed our mind. And let's talk about why that was an important part of the research process. We spent the week trying to find a TA to help us. Didn't find somebody, had to Google some stuff. Didn't work out, that's fine. I switched projects and ended up on my own doing a project, or, you know, life intervened. And so I would have liked to have joined a group project, but I did an individual for this reason. And I can't wait to start doing these 10 things to be, you know, y'all, you have only been working on these projects since like Tuesday. It is Friday, okay? So the bar is significantly lower than you were probably expecting. Like, you can't even trip on it, it's so low. You'd walk on over it and it's like underground, so low, okay? We're most interested in hearing about your experience, what y'all did, and how you got to whatever your successful end is. That's what we want to hear about today, okay? So bar super low. All right, so quick overview of process, and we'll go over the schedule a little bit later so you know when all these things are happening. But we'll send you back to your rooms to finish prepping. You're going to have more time than you realize today. We'll talk about that when I go over the schedule. You're going to have a lot of time to prep today, more than you realize. We'll only, yeah, you'll have lots of time. I'll stop, full stop there. So we're going to decide on an order for presentations this morning. We didn't want to give anybody the chance to jump to the front of the line or the end of the line. Primacy and recency effects. People tend to remember the first presentation and the last presentation better than everything else in the middle. So if you ever have a chance to do that, go first or go last. It also helps you to get stuff out the way. So I'm a like first just to get it out the way, so my anxiety isn't building the whole time. So just so you know that privacy and recency effect, it's real. So we have added a scheduling sheet to the speed dating sheet. So Maddie, can you drop the speed dating sheet spreadsheet into the chat box for everybody? So we have added, the final tab is the sign up times. So we have decided on when individual and when group projects will be. We want to alternate those. We don't want to have a whole bunch of either one of those first. There's equal numbers. So what we're looking for is for you to sign up for either an individual or group slot for your team. We are not going to change the team order. So it's got, I think it's like individual, group, individual, or it's group, individual, that stays. Please negotiate with your colleagues. You can grab a spot, but if somebody is just like, oh, one of our members can't be here, for instance, for religious reasons, until later in the day, can we go later? Please negotiate that with each other. But that sheet is open now. So if you need to move things around, please negotiate that with your colleagues. You'll be easily able to find them in rooms all day. Everybody will be here. But please go ahead and start signing up for that time. They're in 20-minute increments, starting at 1:20. So we're going to go over. So if you do the math, it'll look like we're going to go over 4 o'clock, but it will not take as long as we think it will to switch over your projects, to switch over who's presenting, because everything's in one slide deck. And I guarantee you there are going to be a bunch of people that don't use the full 20 minutes. Okay. So let's talk about that 20 minutes. That is your total time. So the 20 minutes includes Q&A. So if you want to speak for 20 minutes and get no Q&A, God bless you. That's fine. Like, if you want to speak for 10 minutes and get 10 minutes of Q&A, that's fine. If you want to speak for 10 minutes and there's only 5 minutes of Q&A, that's fine. So that 20 minutes represents the bounds of your time that can be used for all that stuff, okay? And when you finish your presentation, we'll be keeping time. We'll let you know how much time you have for questions. You may also want to prime the audience, and we've all heard speakers do this, prime the audience with what type of feedback you want. Like, we're having a problem with code. We would love for some help with this code. You might get somebody from Mathematica that's in the room, or Howard, who might be able to answer that, or one of your classmates. You might want to say, we're looking for, we're missing some of the theoretical grounding on this particular, does anybody know of an article in this space? You know, so think about guiding the audience towards what you need. We want this to be generative for you. You know, we're excited to hear your projects. And it's great for you to destroy the presentation and for all of us to go, but honestly, more important, this is a workshop. We're looking for us, we want to be able to give you what you need. So try and prime us maybe early on about what you need. So you might get some people Googling some stuff and help you, or follow up after, okay? If there's a skill missing in your team, if you're like, God, we could really use somebody to do this magical thing with R and Python together. I just made that up. Ask for that. There might be somebody in the audience who after the fact jumps in and helps your team. you know, or again, there might be a TA that somebody's met with at Mathematica, and they can go, oh, actually, you need to talk to Lena over at Mathematica. She's good at this thing. Okay, so again, guide us and help us help you. So presentation, request what you need, make sure we know post-mortem how it went, whether it went well or not, and what you learned. Like everybody, if you notice, I basically put in 2 slides there that mattered. Your name, like who your team is, and what you learned. Whatever you do in the middle, up to you. Okay, God bless you. The flying spaghetti monster, blessings upon you. Whatever you want in the middle is up to you. With that in mind, I want to give you a deadline for slides. So what we don't want to happen is while your colleagues are presenting, our teams are off still prepping and things like that. We want to try to get everybody in the moment. So we're locking slides to editing at 1 o'clock. So that means 20 minutes before you all start up, and we'll connect during that time period and just go over the order. There'll be 20 minutes for y'all to just sort of chill, breathe. We want to make sure everybody's in it to support each other. We'll lock the slides to editing at 1 o'clock. So your slides are due by 1 o'clock Eastern time. I also want to mention, if your slides are not in there yet, please get on that. Right now, we're missing slides from Dereje, Rashid, and the group that represents, let's see, James, Jacqueline, Gia, and Kevin. We're missing your slides. Please build your slides in our slide deck or transfer them over. Sometimes the formatting gets messed up, so I would encourage you do that early. I would encourage you just build them there. Don't create them somewhere else and drag them over. We don't want like issues with the way that they are formatted. I would also encourage you, if you're looking for feedback, and I've gotten at least one person interested in that, reach out to other people. So if you're an individual and you know, reach out to the other individuals. Maybe you all want to share your slides with each other and give each other feedback. Groups too, you know, maybe you want to do a dry run through in front of another group. You're going to have a good amount of time today. Again, more than you expect, and we'll talk about that when we hit the end of the hour. Sorry, the end of this logistics, not the hour. All right, let's see, anything else? So I'm going to take a quick look and see where we are with people signing up for times. Great, it looks like almost everybody. So politics of public safety, if y'all could move your stuff up to the gray section, you're currently scheduled for the 2-minute turnover. So if you have a 2-minute presentation, fire. But I appreciate if you'd move your stuff up to the gray section. So just overwrite and add your stuff in the gray section. So we're missing.
We're trying to keep it really brief. Not that
yeah, super brief. Apparently, y'all are just gonna be like, hey, thank you. You know, we need feedback. Great. So please make that gray for me too. So the gray I love is the one right above the green. So remake that gray for us too. So I think we're missing one person on there. I'm going to assume that is probably Rashid. So if you could, can you double check that for us, Maddie? And if that last spot is Rashid, please add Rashid and put in brackets until we confirm with him. So we may be ending at 3:54. I know he has religious things to attend to today, so we may end at 3:54. We'll wait and hear from him. Okay, thank you all for doing that. All right, let me find my notes again. Fire 2-minute presentation. I'm here for that. Let's see, anything else? So again, it starts at 1:20, 2-minute turnovers. Okay. So are there any questions about the presentations? Again, we'll have 20 minutes later to talk about this again. And if you ask me any questions over the course of the day about presentation stuff, we'll make sure we put that up on Slack so everybody knows it. But does anybody have any presentation questions? Okay, all right. So I'm going to drop something in the chat box for you. Which is our end of the experience survey. We'll keep sending this to you again. It should be exhaustive without being exhausting. We tried our best, but we do want to get feedback on all the different parts of the things that we do. There are a lot of things that we do at this site that are extremely innovative, and we like to be able to report those back to our funders and supporters and such, so we can continue doing this. So super important getting this survey done. The only thing that you're missing to be able to, I think, discuss is the closing plenary today and the presentations. So probably best to try and do this at the end of the day. We'll send you it out on Slack. We'll also send it on the email list. Don't worry, you'll get frequent reminders about this until we hit the magic number of people. Just so you know, at the end of this, the postmortem, we tell you that you should do reflecting on your stuff we do, and this figures into that pretty heavily. So we still remain the only site that consistently gets 100% daily attendance and participation. We, as people keep telling you, what we do here is very different from all the other SICSS sites, and it's helpful to be able to report in on that to the folks that pay our bills. So please fill that out. I want to remind you that you have given us permission to use photos, but you may want to check in with people if you're sharing photos that you have taken. So, before we put up a picture that has, maybe somebody's spouse in it or a child or things like that, check in with folks. So we've gotten your permission to use stuff. We're very thoughtful about that. But if you decide to put up a picture that you've taken or something like that on social, just check in with folks, because there are definitely some folks in the room who don't want to be posted on social, and we've respected that. So please plan to check in. Reminder, the TAs are still available today. Some of you are in touch with them. Not a bad thing to pull somebody in and ask them about your slides or something like that. I am seeing emails out and about and responses, so stay on top of that. I want to also remind you, I don't know about you, but as soon as I attend stuff like this, I figure out where it's going to be on my CV. So make sure you add us to your CV, and we're excited that you claim us. We're definitely going to claim you. So you might as well claim us. Okay, let's jump to our keep, start, stop, and then we'll look ahead and go over the schedule. And I'm going to give you back some time today. Like I said, I think you're going to be happy with how much time you have today. So keep, start, stop slides, Amber. And again, anybody who's like, God, it's early or late, Amber's in Singapore. Just a reminder, Amber is in Singapore. So when she was teaching y'all R, she was probably caffeinated like crazy. Amber is the one. Amber's the homie. Like, Amber is like ride or die. Like, seriously, I'm adopted. I've told her, and I've asked her to tell her parents, she will be adopted. Like, I'm willing to give this. She will be a Coleman. It's going to happen. So, okay, Amber, let's go through our keep, start, stop. We need to keep Latanya, man. Seriously, I'm not going to lie to you. I begged this woman for 4 years. It took 4 years to get her into the room. We're keeping Latanya. Latanya is adopted. She might be a Coleman too. Seriously, how incredible was that yesterday? All right, so let's keep going. Next slide. Keeping Latanya. Still about Latanya. She came early to spend time with my staff. She sat down and was asking Abril and Arvin about their futures, what they wanted to do, what they cared about. Keeping Latanya. Next slide. Love this woman. Keeping her. Next slide. She spent time with all of you. Like, y'all should screenshot this. You're on camera with like a former political appointee and just juggernaut bad. Amazing woman. Incredible. Look at Gia's face on it. Look at JJ on the bottom. That's like my favorite. Look at JJ. Look at look at all the smiles. Incredible. And I'm only doing this because none of y'all filled out the form last night. So this gives us a chance to show off some photos. Next one. And these are all the folks that were on camera with her one-on-one. Okay, so screenshot this. So got a lot of folks on camera asking questions. And look at that genuine smile from her the whole time. I was going to leave everything to the University of Buffalo. I might just leave it to her. Like, seriously, that just blew my mind yesterday. All right, is there anything else there, Amber? Are we done? I think that's all of them. Yep, that's all of them. Okay, let's drop screen share. So keeping Latanya Sweeney, we'll give you one more chance to, okay, so anybody who wants that screenshot, put it up on Slack and we'll post all the screenshots there that we took that include you all. Okay, and again, if anyone else is in the screenshot with you, check in, just before you share on the social medias, just check in. If you notice that we did not put up the one of Ayana and her son on purpose. That's our child. We're protecting the child. Okay, so let's get to my, where is my notes? Where'd my notes be? Let's go. Okay, okay, so let's review the schedule for the day. review the schedule for the day. So Abril, can you put that up for me? Fire. Look how fast you got the schedule up. So proud. All right. So reminder, you can reach out to the TAs this morning. We have logistics. We're still on time. We have 3 minutes left on logistics. 10 to 11:30, feature presentation by the incredible Dean Freelon. We've got the pre-recorded video there as well as the pre-recorded Q&A. He was not able to join us, but we have all of that for you. We're going to screen that. 11:30 to 12, you get a break. 12 to 1, you've got time to work on your group projects. We'll come back from 1 to 1:20 to do an overview of project presentations, answer any questions. Once again, slides locked at 1 o'clock. Slides locked to editing at 1 o'clock. You will not be able to make changes after 1 o'clock. We want everybody to be able to be present and not be fiddling with their slides while other people are talking. I also want to remind you all that the person who goes first tends to get the fewest questions, right? We get momentum as we go further along in the day. So let's make sure we give whoever is going first tons of love. Let's ask them some questions, because when we hit our stuff, we'll want questions. And I know you're going to be anxious right there going, God, I got to go third. And that was good and all that stuff. But let's make sure that opening group feels some love. We don't want them to be like, how I only get one question. Okay, so let's be mindful of that first group. Then from 1:20 to 4, we'll do group and individual project presentations. We will be joined by people from Mathematica, from that including our closing plenary speaker, and Akira Bell. So they will join and be there smiling at you and listening. They might come up with some ideas in terms of data. So if you're like, hey, I really need some data, or it would be great to have this Mathematica TA continue to help me, you've got people in the room who can make that happen, okay? So I would think about what you need and put it out there in the universe. I would stop short of going, hey, Akira, can I have some money? Or anything like that. I would encourage you not to do that. But if you're like, if I really have this data set or support on these technical things, you might honestly get it. So think about that. All right, then after that, we've got Jeff doing a closing plenary. There's gonna be live Q&A there. So please Google him or take a look there and think about any questions you might have. He's pretty incredible. Has lots of experience on the continent too. I believe he lived in Kenya for something like a decade, and is an incredible human in addition to being a wonderful supporter of what we do, and fairly new to Mathematica too. So and then finally we'll take a break, and then we will take a half an hour to debrief and spend time marking this occasion as a family. So we will just have some time. You popcorn at the beginning. So we'll get to popcorn again at the end and connect as a community and talk through what this has been for everybody. Every year, this goes way longer than we expect. We never kick people out. We stay until you've found the love and the closure you need to walk away and not think about us the next morning at 6:30 or whatever. That, like, a lot of people wake up the next morning like, where am I supposed to be? Yeah. So that's a special part of our time. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you.
Thank you all for watching. For more information on SICSS-Howard Mathematica, visit our website, follow us on social media, and join our email list.